Hey you guys, good to see you as always here on Grassroots Gardening. I tell you what, I learned a very important lesson this past weekend. So I was on a lunch date with a very pretty lady, was overlooking the lake, beautiful restaurant, and I ordered me the fried seafood platter. Came with oysters, shrimp, fish, looked fantastic. So we were sitting there talking, having a drink. I took my first bite of an oyster. I ate a lot of oysters. Knew something wasn't right with this one. But, you know, you're sitting across from a beautiful woman. Last thing I wanted to do was spit my food out and be that guy. So I just ate it. That was the wrong thing to do. So a couple hours later on the way home, man, it was rough, y'all. Lips start sweating, face starts pouring sweat, barely made it home. So for the past 2 days, I've been in the house. First time I've been out in 2 days. Full exorcism style, just projectile. I won't go into the details. It's been rough. So I had to get out. I'm not a type of person to stay inside the house. So I figured we'd go walk around the yard a little bit, take a look at a couple of plants I want to show you. Then we're going to wind up back in the greenhouse because we need to check on our tomatoes. So it's Thanksgiving week and we've got some typical Thanksgiving weather here. Kind of cloudy, gray skies. It rained a little bit this morning. Leaves have been falling, all except for this one that got hung up in a spider web that I'm about to walk through. Get out of my way. But the leaves are beautiful. Driveway's looking good. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but some of our green grass is coming up that we spread not too long ago. I guess it's been about 2 weeks now. And man, as I'm walking and talking, look at what the deer, they have got every daggum tree that I've planted. This is a beautiful, hopefully it's still gonna make it. This is a beautiful weeping cherry that I planted over here, but they are just tearing up everything, getting on my last daggum nerve. You know, some of y'all suggested putting up wire around each plant or fencing it off, and that's a great idea and it's great advice. It's just near impossible. We've got so many beds. My driveway's like, 3/4 of a mile long. It's just too much. So we're just gonna have to learn to live with it. Or I don't know, maybe we do need to get some fencing. Look, they even got my beautiful Orangiola Japanese maple. Okay. And then somebody else suggested we start shooting them. I'm starting to lean towards that, but even with that, there are so many deer. When I come in at nighttime or leave early in the morning, I mean, a dozen deer run off. We've got thousands of acres behind us. That's just not a viable option. So, you can spray your plants to keep them from eating the foliage, but there's nothing you can do other than fence them off to keep them from coming and rubbing them with their antlers. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to plant so many damn plants till they can't get them all, I guess. Would y'all take a look at this right here? Isn't this stunning? Look at this. So this is our tractor seat plant, or Farfugium. Almost has like a black-eyed Susan type flower stalk, but each little clump has sent up a flower stalk. This is called the tractor seat plant because it looks like the old-timey tractor seats, the old metal ones you used to sit on. Beautiful plant, loves heavy shade. So I've got it tucked in here at the base of all these pines, and it could probably even use a little bit more shade. A lot of times when plants have these big old huge leaves like this, that means they require some super heavy shade because those leaves are spreading out just trying to find any sunlight that they can, and it's definitely true of this tractor seat plant. But that is just some kind of beautiful, especially this time of year. It's hard to find plants that are doing something other than, camellias and camellias. And here's another beautiful plant that I got from Plant Delights Nursery up in Raleigh. This is called Linen Song Aspidistra, or cast iron plant, but really nice variegation. I think we did a video I think y'all helped me plant this one, I can't remember. But I love these yellow streaks that run up and down each leaf. This is also another shade lover, and super tough, hence the name cast iron plant. It should form a couple more clumps, and then I'd love to come in and divide this one and be able to have it, you know, some of it for sale down at Grassroots Nursery, because it is quite a beautiful specimen. And I'm not going to say rare, but it wasn't the cheapest plant that I've ever bought. But I just love that leaf, man. Isn't that cool? And down here close to my gate, I need to do something with this pot. I forget what I had planted in it, but the deer ate whatever I did have planted in it. But look at how this climbing fig has just grown to the pot. We're gonna have to rip him loose, but isn't that beautiful? Almost looks like somebody took the time to glue it on there. We're gonna have to rip him loose, and maybe he just kind of looks stupid right here. I think what happened was my gate was broken one time, and so I just swung it open and grabbed that pot so that the wind wouldn't blow the gate shut. It sat there, and now the climbing or creeping fig that's over here on this lamp post has found its way, some kind of way. Oh, I can see its little trail. It's found its way. Look at that. It's found its way over to this pot and just wrapped itself all the way around. Isn't that cool? I'm pretty sure on each one of these light pillars I planted creeping fig or climbing fig. I can't remember. They're probably both the same common name, climbing fig, whatever. And then this really pretty variegated ivy. The ivy did better on this one that's exposed to a little bit more sun, and then the climbing fig did better on this one over here in the shade. But I like the mix. I'd love to have a mix like this on both of them, just the ivy and the fig. I just think that's a cool contrast of that lizard scared the crap out of me. Get out of here, lizard. Golly, got my heart beating, boy. So if y'all watched any of my videos, you know I am petrified of snakes. And they're still out this time of year because it's like 65 degrees right now. So if you ever see me jump in a video, it's because I thought I saw a snake. Damn lizard. You got me, dude. You got me real good. Get out of here. What was I saying? Anyway, I like to have these two plants in conjunction. And it's going to be kind of hard to control one or the other, but this one's got kind of a nice mix on it versus just that one over there with nothing but the ivy. Damn, that lizard got me. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. All right, let's see if we can keep walking down the driveway and not get scared anymore. That was not good for my stomach, I tell you. Look at our grass though, man. It's coming up nice. We need to bring the leaf blower down, blow some leaves out. But isn't that beautiful? This is the green strip that I was trying to make in the video the other day. And we did it. We did it, guys. Check it out. Isn't that just the most beautiful, lush, vibrant green? And now in the wintertime, you know, when we're coming up and coming home, you just have something beautiful and green to look at, along with our evergreen shrubs. Our Confederate rose is still hanging on. Most of the blooms have gone though after the frost. And I see our tea olive blooming yonder. And look what else is blooming right now. It's kind of odd. This is our bottle brush. He got knocked back pretty hard last year. Ooh, ants all over there. Ants all over those blooms getting the nectar, I guess. This got knocked back pretty hard. Most of the plant looked like this right here after we had that Arctic blast come through just about a year ago, right before Christmas. And then I was noticing the beautiful gold color of this ginkgo, and then guess who came to pay a visit? Oh man. They are trying to wage war. They are really, really trying to wage war against me. There's just no other excuse. There's thousands of acres of trees to go scratch, but they've got to come get the ones that I'm partial to. So they're just trying to piss me off. It's obvious. Our loropetalums are doing nice. Remember we pruned them a few months back. I showed y'all, I knew he got that tree, that beautiful Jap maple right there. I showed y'all that one the other day. Now down here, this didn't turn out quite like I wanted it to. Remember, we kind of took the grass seed and came back here to a point. Well, what had happened was the sprinklers were coming on and evidently wetting that seed that we planted and not quite turning all the way around. So this is about a week behind, because when we planted it, the sprinklers went ahead and forced the germination on those seeds. This guy had to wait about a week to get some rain, but he's sprouting up now, so hopefully it'll catch up. But I really wanted that nice solid green point that goes into this nice wide little section, but oh well, we can't have everything that we want, can we, folks? And we still got this nice white lantana that's still blooming. I'm not sure when we're supposed to have our next frost. Haven't seen any indications of it in the forecast, but usually right after Thanksgiving, first week of December, is when we get our real good freeze. So we'll have to say goodbye to that guy, and hopefully he'll come back next year. Well, we've made it to our hilltop bed around here, guys. It's still looking a little bit sad, very sparse. We're gonna get around to planting it. I don't know exactly when, but I wanted to show you all these yucca that we put back in a few months back. So this is color guard yucca. We have yucca growing, I don't know, I don't want to call it a native because I don't know if it's a native, but it's growing wild all around here. It loves these sandy soil conditions, but I especially love these variegated ones because look at that pop against the cherry brown mulch there. So I stuck one of these solar lights in, and it looks really cool coming up the driveway at nighttime. But definitely would like to throw a few more of those style plants up here. This is super, super sandy, and get us a few more plants that can really tolerate these sandy conditions, just like these mangave. I'm trialing these two varieties out to see if they can make it through the winter. And then we got a red hot poker right here, which is one of my favorite plants, Nipophia. Has that cool red flower that comes out of the middle. It looks just like an actual red hot poker. But a lot of work we're going to do on this hillside, either this winter or next spring. But the neat thing about being able to document these videos is because I can come back and look at this too. Years on down the road, I can say, man, can you believe it used to look like that? Because we've got so many large beds, it's hard, without spending an absolute fortune and a ton of work, to come in and just landscape the entire thing. Plus, I don't really like to do it that way because if y'all know me, gardening is my therapy. So I like to bring 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I go a little crazy and bring more home. But just bring a couple plants home, drink me a beer, come out here, put a few plants in the ground, and I can take my time more about where I want to put them. So that's why these beds are just always evolving. And so if you like this kind of stuff, hit that like and subscribe down there so you can continue to watch it evolve with us. And our rising sun redbud, he's still hanging on to a few of his leaves. This has really been my favorite tree over the past few growing seasons. The amount of growth that it's put on alone has been incredible, but I love the chartreuse colored leaves on this one. He's going to be a real showstopper come next spring. All of our other little red buds that we've planted pretty much defoliated. We've still got a few of the elephant ears hanging on. The canna's still hanging on. Got burnt a little bit with that frost, but for the most part, all of them are hanging on really good. And this goes back to a video I did not too long ago about elephant ears and how to overwinter them. Well, we're on a pretty good bank right here, pretty good slope. So even though I do have irrigation in this bed, all that water drains away from the roots. And what I'll do over the winter is turn the irrigation way back. Not all the way off, but really just, we get a lot of rain naturally during the winter. So I'll just kind of, pepper in whenever we do have dry spells. I'll irrigate it just to keep the soil somewhat moist, but I don't have to worry about these rotting due to the fact that they are on that slope, and what rain does come will drain away from them. If they're sitting in water, that's when you have to worry about these things rotting. And if you're wondering about some of the plants that I've showed you today, we are in zone now 8B. So there's been a lot of hype lately. The USDA came out with the new grow zone map. And so what that means, these guys monitor the average low temperatures all across the country. And for the longest time, we've been a zone 8A, and now we're 8B. Now, a lot of people are contributing that to global warming, and it may be, I don't know. I just know now they have moved us into a warmer zone of 8B here in the Aiken area. So nothing to be too concerned about, you know. That's really just for shrubs, hardy perennials. It's not going to affect any of your summer crops or fall vegetable crops. It's really just a more of a guide for hardy perennials and shrubs and trees like that. I'll put a map up here in just a second. You can see if you've moved as well. A lot of people did get moved down or moved up, whichever way you want to look at it. Moved warmer. There we go. Let's go walk into the greenhouse now and check on our tomatoes. Oh, and let me get our light flipped on here. Mom and Dad were down in Daytona last week, and my mom is a plant nerd too, and she brought me home a couple unique things that I've never seen. This one, what is she? It's a type of bromeliad. Was it bubblegum? Something candy. I guess because it's got these really unique looking blue candy-like balls on the end of the pink flower. But she got me that. Got me this, which is called a flamingo plant. I've got to look him up to see exactly what family he's in, but kind of cool. And then be honest with you, I can't remember the name of this one. It looks almost like a coral plant that I had a few years ago. Beautiful flowers on it. Here's the leaf. If any of you guys down in Florida know this plant's name, please put it in the comment below. If not, I'm going to have to Google search this one, but it does have a nice big fat seed pod on that right there. Everything else is doing good. The old red moon philodendron, oh, she's got a new leaf coming out. That should be interesting. It looks like it's maybe 50-50. That'd be a cool one to see come out. But everything else is just kind of hanging tight for the winter in here. Keep it super humid, and everything is loving it so far. So let's see what our tomatoes are doing. Got some nice growth since we've planted them. See how, remember in the video I told you when we did plant them that we're going to get leggy, they're going to stretch just because it's so shady in this greenhouse. And I'm okay with that because also, as I stated in the video, we have to be real careful with fungus and bacteria this time of year. So I'm okay with this elongation in between the nodes. That'll help us get some more wind through there and hopefully ward off any fungus that might try to jump on them. This one's a little bit lagging behind, and something been chewing on our leaves a little bit. Might have to get us some BT, bring home and put on that, but nice green growth. I haven't fertilized them. I'm not going to. We're going to see how this Mater Maker formula does. So far, I'm impressed with what I see. Maybe we can get us a juicy beefsteak tomato this winter and have us a Mater sandwich for Christmas. Well, no, that's being a little optimistic. Maybe for my birthday in February. That'll be a little bit more along the timeline. But let's go out here and see how the birds are doing. And then I'm going to go inside. My new Johnny's seed catalog came in the mail today. So that's like Christmas time for me. And I'm going to order us up some seeds for next year. I like to go ahead and order my seeds now because everybody else got their Johnny's catalog too. They're going to be ordering, and I don't want to see sold out on when I go to check out. So we're going to do that. Hey birds, how y'all doing today? Hey Miss Millie. Hey Millie, you don't like the camera, do you? Look at you getting all puffed up. Now, you know I'm nothing ever but nice to you. I know you don't know the camera that well. And Coney, you just don't like me just because, do you? I know, buddy. Did y'all have a good day? Did y'all take baths out here? So we're out here in the aviary right now. The guys can get out of the rain. We put a cover over their big cage, and they come in and go into the cage as they please. Can drink and take a little bath down there in their bird bath. And there is something kind of cool, actually two things kind of cool out here I want to show y'all. One is this unusual ginkgo. And I want to say the name of this, and I'll probably have to come back and put it on the screen later, but I want to say it's American. I think it's Mariken, but it's got a really unusual growth habit to it. Check it out how it's kind of just sprawling out versus growing straight up. And it has these really long fishtail like leaves to it. It's starting to get its golden color now, but pretty neat one. The reason I got it in here, I planted trees that in these holes that I left in the concrete. I planted trees that were non-toxic, obviously, to birds because I wanted to get big and jungly in here and they'll be able to climb throughout the trees as they would in their native environment. So ginkgos and citrus, which brings me to the other plant I want to show you guys. This is a prosimquat, and I'll have to put in the description what this thing actually is because it is a very complex hybrid. Kumquat's definitely in there, but it's got some other stuff mixed and back crossed and all kind of funky stuff. But I got this one over in Augusta from Aquinas High School. They've got quite the hardy citrus collection, and planted a seed and it came up. But isn't that a neat looking fruit? And look at the stalk that it's sent up. And it's going up to seven feet tall, and it's got a couple more. I'm sure this new growth is gonna get some winter burn, but this is its third winter, I think. So, and it's pretty protected in here. You know, it's got those concrete walls on the side, and its roots are under the concrete slab, so it's pretty protected in here. But they had these growing in their on their campus, and they were huge and beautiful. That Aquinas High School has got some really, I don't think you can just go show up there. So don't just go show up and say, hey, Ryan told me to come here, because I went on like a tour. I think it was for the Southeastern Palm Society or something, but really, really neat citrus collection. But I'm gonna research these some more and see if they come true from seed. That way we can grow them and have them for sale down at our nursery, because it's really a neat little fruit. You can eat the entire fruit, skin and all. Very tart, but beautiful little citrus tree. Well, guys, me and the birds appreciate you hanging out with us as always. Hope everybody has a fantastic holiday season. The more you know, the more you grow. I'll see you on the next video. Bye, y'all. Can y'all say happy holidays? Can you say anything? Can you say hello?